Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you on 26 October with urgent action that you can take right now to save your power grid. Right now, California is burning. Hundreds of thousands of people are being shut off from their power. Grain that should be drying out is not getting dried. The harvest is at risk. And the rest of the power grid across this whole nation is at risk from direct physical attacks, from cyber attacks, from coronal mass ejections from the sun, and from electromagnetic pulses should we get into a conflict with certain other powers. And there are other safety standards. There are infractions of standards that are in place that are all being violated, and you're not being told about it. In fact, you are actively being deceived by the power industry and the regulatory commissions that are supposed to take care of it. And so we're going to cover that in this video, and I'm going to show and tell you exactly what you need to do this weekend to get on the docket for the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission actions that you can take this weekend through Monday, and other actions that you can take subsequent to that should you miss this window and whether you miss or make it. There's plenty of things that you personally can do to help us save the grid. Join the struggle to make this work. So with that said, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to show you exactly websites, steps to take, everything you need to know to make action and to be effective. Please support my channel because I am one to put forth a lot more videos on this topic. I have decided to make this channel second to none on YouTube in terms of power grid defense and what you need to do to keep yourself and your community safe. I am connecting in with the Secure the Grid Coalition, which I am a member of. I'm going to use resources that they have available, members of that commission, and people who spoke at my 2 power grid defense conferences that I ran. And that's my podium placard for the one I ran. And so we're going to tap into these resources to give you everything you need to know to work the situation until we'll feel safe about our power grid should that day ever arise, and I hope it does. Now, that said, please subscribe to my channel and bang the update notification bell. Click all for notifications because you really want all the notifications I'm going to show you, because I cover power grid. I'm going to cover it a lot more diligently, and other things that you need to know to thrive, survive, and stay out of the hive. That said, also support my channel. I raise worms. I'm fresh off the worm farm today. I've been out working worms and worm tea. Links below to greengregs.com for buying your own worms for your garden. Hey, this grid may go down because you've been deceived about the safety of the grid, and there may be other things that could bring us into a hits the fan situation. So please consider my Patriot Supplies. Check the links below to that. If I'm expecting food prices to soar, right now you can get great deals on 25-year long-term storage food. You get a year's worth. Hey, it's only like $6 a day, $2 and some change a meal. Can't beat that. Now, get it while it's still at that price. Also, you need to be able to grow things. And the best source of heirloom seeds, the kind of seeds you're going to need, is True Leaf Market below. Also, they have seeds and supplies for growing microgreens, which you can grow in your home. And no, you don't need electric lights to do that. I'll show that in the future. But anyway, there we go. So let's get into this video and talk about what needs to be done. So first, let's talk about the National Energy Regulatory Commission and let's talk about the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, and the National Electric Reliability Corporation. Sometimes I get those a little bit mixed up. NERC and FERC. So the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, is the federal agency that is supposed to be, overlook and make sure everything is safe. However, the way they've got it set up is a corporation-run, an electric power utility corporation-run agency known as the National Electric Reliability Corporation. It's got it in, that is NERC. They have set up with FERC that they propose the regulations that go into the system, that no regulations go in with regards to utilities that do not come out of NERC, and they get rubber stamped by FERC. So there is an unholy alliance between the regulatory agency and the regulatee. The regulator and the regulatee are in bed with each other, as is the case in almost all regulatory agencies. This really skews the process of what our government does. They're not working for you, they're working for themselves, and they're doing it on your tax money. That said, what's happening is we have a lot of infractions of safety going on right now, a lot of failure to meet standards. Even if you take the standards that was passed by the National Electric Reliability Corporation and approved by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, you will find that they can't even meet their own standards. And in fact, when they don't meet them, you don't find out. So if you were to search the September 26, 2019 database on the penalty spreadsheet of NERC, you will find there were 6,317 violations of their own standards by their own companies. 6,317 standard violations by members of NERC failing to meet these regulatory standards that they had set up and got approved by FERC. So go figure that one. And it's even worse because the grid is getting attacked and you don't know about it. They've not told you about attacks going on with the grid. As a matter of fact, since 2010, and those other figures go from 2010 also, since 2010, there have been 578 physical attacks on the grid. I'm talking attacks. There have been 29 cyber attacks on our grid. These were reported to the Department of Energy by the companies. So how many of these did NERC report? 1 physical attack, 0 cyber attacks. And the only physical attack they reported was so overt they couldn't avoid it. And then they tried to paper over it. I'm going to do a little share here and just show you what that attack most likely was. Right here, it was probably this attack on the Metcalf station on in the San Jose area of California. California, you guys really get hit, don't you? On 16 April 2013. Other things was going on that day too, which are highly suspicious. There we go. Just so happens, about that time, North Korea had missile launchers hidden below bags of sugar in the Chongqing in the Gulf of Mexico. And their KMS 3-2 satellite was flying directly over Washington, D.C. on the 16th. Could have made an EMP. So strange dates, strange happenings. I've covered this in other videos. And make sure I escape without hitting the kill button on this computer. And so these are things that you need to be aware of. The problem is that you are not seeing, you are not hearing what is really going on with these agencies, because when these violations occur, they do not report what companies they happened in. They did not report to you what they were. You don't know this. And this is critical information. You should know what's going on with PG&E. Turns out PG&E, as you might suspect, is a repeat serial offender of these standards. My friends in California, you need to demand action. I wouldn't sit for this. My friend Mike Mabee, Command Sergeant Major Mike Mabee, who wrote this great book, the Civil Defense book. Get it. This is a great book. Go get a copy. This talks about how to survive in your communities, how to pull your communities together. It talks about how to prep yourself. It's got a lot of good information in this book to tell you how to survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. Mike Mabee is he's a stellar character. He was in World Trade Center number 6 the day the planes hit 1 and 2. And he knew that there was going to be a problem. This whole place could go down. And he pushed a guy in a wheelchair out 3 miles to get him away and clear from all that stuff. That's Command Sergeant Major Mike Mabee. He is a great hero. And he has been filing Freedom of Information Act's request to get information on who the perpetrators of these things are. So what happened is that NERC has proposed that they just paper this over. They come up with a white paper and it says, okay, we'll just report going forward the name and a couple of small trivial items of metadata, which is not enough to really understand what's going on. They might tell you the name of the company, but you won't really know what the infraction is and nothing about all this stuff in the past, which we really need to understand and know about. So this whole thing is being glossed over. So what you can do this weekend is we've got it on the docket for FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, to have people apply to take action. And I got all the links. I'm about to show them. And so there's two things you can do, and I'm going to show you some of this. So what the first item is ask your representatives. I'm going to talk about the NERC, which is the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners, and I'm going to show you a link to that. I'm going to share that, and I'm going to show you what's on there. But ask your public utility commissioners to file to be on the docket for FERC on and it's the FERC docket number. Write this down. Get a pencil. Replay this back. FERC docket AD 19-18-000. And I'm going to show you links to all this. I'm going to give you the sample letters and instructions for how to follow. I'm about to give you everything you need to have, and I'm going to show you how to reach the NERC members in your area. So I'm going to hit share again, and we're going to go to the internet, and bam, bada bang, and expand this out. Okay, this is NERC, National Association Regulatory Utility Commissioners. Now, this is a cool site. It gives you everything you need to know to contact your public services commissioners. Now, I've said in many videos, contact your public services commissioners. So now, what if I live in the burning up, smoking state of California? I believe I would really be wanting to ring those guys' bells. So click on California. That's all you got to do. This site is great because it gives you all the contact data. So here is the office data. The group was established in 1911. And here are your commissioners. The president of the commission, Mabril Betcher. I can't pronounce names. I'm probably murdering the names. But you got Martha Guzman Aces. And I'm not the best now. I can get this one. Lyanne M. Randolph. Maybe I got it. I'm good at murdering names. Anyway, so this gives you the individual's name, the phone number, the fax number, the email number. I mean, everything you need to contact these individuals, and even the staff members. Sometimes it's easy to reach staff members. So you can, and other staff, look at this. You got a whole host of characters that you could contact, and I'm sure their phones are ringing off right now because of the wondrous job that PG&E's been doing. Ha, 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 right? So let's be quick on this. Now, I will show you from my state, Alabama. And I've had Commissioner Jerry Odom actually come to my conference that I ran in 2018, and he came to my workshop the Sunday after that that we had where we were planning forward plans for what to do. He spent his time with us, and he actually preached his church. He came to us. He drove 2 counties over to talk to us early that morning, and then he went back to preach a service. Imagine that. And this is Twinkle Kavanaugh. She's president of our Public Services Commission. I had a meeting in Montgomery with the head of the Alabama EMA, Emergency Management Association, and several EMA members, Alabama Public Utilities Company, Alabama Power, that is, and several other state officials. And she was there, and she listened. She paid attention. We had Dr. Peter Vincent Pry and a physicist on EMP, Dr. Stephen Smith, and I speak to these individuals. There were about 20 in attendance. So you can reach out to these people. You can meet with them. And the good thing is that in some states, these people are elected. And let's see if I can find a map for that. If they're in blue, these are elected offices. If yours are appointed by the governor, you might want to push to make them elected. Maybe they'll be more accountable. Or otherwise, beat on your governor. These are appointed by legislature in Virginia and South Carolina. But Texas and New York are taking some steps. And South Carolina in particular, thanks to the final action, I'm going to tell you what to do. Okay, now, so you want to contact these guys. Well, what do you want to do with them? You want to get on this docket. Well, we're going to go into detail here. And we're going to do that by, first I'm going to, my overhead here is kind of killing me. So let me go down. Every time I reach up to click on a tab, my video system is hiding the ones I want to click on. So bear with me just a second. Homeland Security, we're going to go to that in a moment. Take action, that's what I want. This is my friend Tommy Waller. He's got a video here where he explains this, and he explains how to take action. So you might want to watch this video. It gives you some good background information. It's just a few minutes long, 9 minutes.
Hi, I'm Tommy Waller with the Center.
So be sure you want to watch that. And like I said, gives you some good background information. More background information. This is the website of Command Sergeant Major Michael Mabey, the man who wrote the book I just showed you, right here, Michael Mabey. And if you go to his site, it will give you more background and some action steps you can take, talk about his FOIA work and other stuff. And hopefully you can order his book here. I'm sure you can get it at Amazon. I'll look at there. He's got all the same stuff here, what to do and who's doing it. Mike Mabey, great man, very good man. So he is a true hero. Now, what do you do specifically? Well, also contact your state's consumer advocate. Now, this is cool. Go here, click this link. It's going to take you to the list, straight to the list of contact numbers. And I'm going to put all these links below, places you can go. Look here. So if you're in Alabama, talk to Via Martin. Well, let's see here. I think some of these names are, there we go, Olivia Martin. You got to click on these cells. And this will take you through what state, who to talk to, and their email address. So you can email those individuals this weekend. I would contact, let's go back, get out of this, go back to take action. Give me a second. Then there's the public service commissioners. And this is another link. This is back to NERC, okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to tell them to get on this docket. And there's information about this docket below. So also, here's a sampler. So contact them first. Tell them that you want them to get on the docket to push for really two things. What we want to do is, in this letter, it talks about pushing for the transparency, to be able to see what these companies are doing and what has happened, and not just paper it over. You want to understand what's going on. We need to know, why are we having all these fires in California? What can happen in the rest of this country? And there's so much more they're hiding from us that you need to understand. We need to push these guys so that they can't just hide in their corporate tires and get their $11 million bonuses like happened out at PG&E. Really? $11 million? Wow. So here's an example letter that you can write, put it in your own words, of course. And if you watch these other things, that'll give you more to do with it. An example letter. If you absolutely had to, you could fill in the blanks, but please tailor it somewhat. But this example letter talks about, dear, and you can use your public service utility commissioner's name. So, hey, please do this. And you can make another letter straight to the FERC itself. This is to your utility commissioners, your public service commissioners. That's what this is set up for. And you're asking them to get on the docket. Everything you need to know is in here. Like I said, go in and tailor a little bit, use your own words. You can just go through and copy and paste. All you got to do to copy and paste is highlight this stuff and put it in words. Yeah, you highlight it, and you can press Control-C, the control button, and C. It will copy. You press the Control and V button, and it will go down into your Word document where you can write it up like you want, or whatever word editor you use, and press Control-C again, copy your words and put them wherever you want them. In email, you can edit it in your email, however you want to do it. This is easy peasy. The words are here. It gives you the outline, what needs to be done. So right here, transparency. But let's do one more thing. Let's add to this a step. And Tommy Waller himself just suggested this thing. I spoke to him about an hour ago. Tommy Waller said that given all the stuff going on with PG&E and the fires in California, that we need to demand hearings. Not just ask for transparency, ask for a hearing on this topic. Say, we want to know what is going on. We want a public hearing. Add that to this. So follow these instructions as he's laid out here, but also ask for a public hearing. That's one thing you're doing to tailor the document. Well, look here, there's a wealth of material here. Here is attachment letters that you can attach to your form. There's 3 of them in here, and are coming up really slow. This is all in there. There we are. And so you can use these attachment letters at your own. You might need to modify them a little bit. Let's see here. This is an attachment letter from a commissioner, Cheryl LaFleur, I guess. Anyway, maybe you can get your own PSC members to generate some of these, but these are letters. And also you can see what various other individuals and the Secure the Grid Coalition have themselves written. Here are their letters. Look through this list right here. Quite a few here already. General Ken Krosniak. He's a friend of mine and has spoke also at both of my Power Grid Defense conferences. Comments on transparency. He laid it out here. And so there you are, General Ken Krosniak. So you can see others' letters. Maybe you don't spend, look, you can do all this in an hour or less if you just jump right on it. Now, to submit this stuff, here are the instructions. Bam, I mean, everything's here, easy peasy. The instructions are here, right here, for how to submit it. The deadline is 28 October. You've got to act by the 28th of October, 2019. And I would assume this said before, earlier in some of these other materials, as long as you get it in by 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, it should be soon enough for them to get it in their system and get it on the docket. So I would say aim for 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, if you're watching this and it's already 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Monday, I would still put it in. You might be able to get it in till as late as 5 p.m. possibly, which, 1,700 hours. But I would try to shoot for 3 p.m., 1,500 hours mill time. So here you are. This tells you what you got to do, all the steps to take. This shows you how to submit it online. That's what you're going to have to do. There's really not time to mail it, but there's the mailing address. This tells you how to do it on time, online, and once again, sample material. And look at this. This shows you how to go through the website and do it. I mean, a picture by picture, blow by blow job of everything you need to do. So you can't beat that. Everything you need to know, everything you need to do to get this docket started is here on this website. And we're going to talk about 2 other steps to take, because this is over on the 28th. By the end of the day on the 28th, this part of what I'm asking to do is over. But this is not all there is to do. You can always talk to your public services commissioners. You can always go to this site, and it's NARUC.org. Link will be below. NARUC, National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners. You are free to go to this site and push these individuals. Say, hey, we need to do something about our power grid. It needs to be hardened, and we don't trust what we're being told by NERC and FERC. And I will give you some more here on this take action agenda. So that is one step you can do, but maybe the most important thing you could do would be to go to your public services commissioners. Now you can search on your state. Like if I did Alabama Public Service Commission, I get, just if you forget what I'm going to show you, this is one way to do it. Another way you can do it is State Homeland Security. This is a site that can take you to the EMA people in your state. Now, why do you want to go to your EMA people? There are many ways to search EMA. Why go to EMA, DHS folks? Yeah, I had DHS people in that meeting in Montgomery also that I was at a few months ago. Well, DHS and EMA are two. DHS is a federal agency, and EMA is Emergency Management Association, people that work with the states themselves. And most states have a director, and there's typically directors in just about every county or borough or whatever you call it down in Louisiana, borough in Alaska, and I lived in Alaska. And in any event, so what you do is go through and find these contacts and work them. That's Homeland Security. You can also, like I said, you can just search the internet on EMA, Emergency Management Association, and type in your state, type in your own contacts, and you will find these things. So this is important. Why go to the EMA people? Let me explain that. And I've talked this in previous videos. If the most effective way, it seems, to get the attention of these organizations is from within their organization, from their rank and file people. If you go to the EMAs, and also you go to the rank and file people in your utility companies, if you've got access to them, EMA is the best way. EMA people are going to have to deal with emergency situations. Go to them and say, hey, what are you going to do if the grid goes down for a year nationwide and you have no cavalry bringing you supplies from outside your county, from outside your state? You've got to live on the resources you've got. And by the way, you'll have no power. You can't pump water. Your radios are probably going dead. How are you going to run your vehicles? How are you going to communicate? How are you going to operate? How are you going to keep the citizens of this county safe in an event like that? And ask them to do a realistic, protracted, grid down exercise for how they would deal with that. And once they start trying this out, they're going to be going, oh my God, this is awful. And a lot of these guys are already getting there. They're already thinking about this. We need state level activities on this end. And we need to get the power companies and all these areas involved in it from the bottom level. At the top, organizations are corrupt. You know, they're all there serving their own parochial interests. But the rank and file members of the power companies, rank and file members of the agencies, even the regulatory agencies I'm picking on, NERC and FERC. If you go down to the rank and file members, they're regular Joes. It's always the management that tries to smooch everything down, you know, and glaze it over, and everything's pretty and great and wonderful, because that's how they get their bonuses. You know, they're not the ones out there trying to tell you how it really is. And so they're going to hide stuff. Even if you go there, when you go, a lot of you people are worried about the FBI, the CIA, and even FEMA. But if you go to the rank and file members of these organizations, you will find a lot of good, dedicated individuals trying to do the right thing. It's management. Management of these organizations has their own goal. Where's the deep state at? It's at the management level. So this is what you need to bear in mind. And the deep state is a real problem, and we'll talk more about that in the future, for how it affects this problem when the regulatee and the regulator are in bed with each other, real tight, tighter than two peas in a pod. I'm going to do a video just specifically on that and for how it perverts our entire governmental regulatory process in the United States and anywhere where you've got this going on. And it's something that would naturally evolve if allowed to, and usually does. So it's just part of the triad of things that happen. You know, birds of a feather flock together. Who has the goal makes the rule, which is the golden rule. And power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's the three items of my three axioms that will get you exactly where we are today, and always will lead to a corrupt society if steps aren't in place to thwart that. And they will always try to knock those steps out so they can have what they want. So you have to be vigilant to maintain your freedom and liberty, to stay alive, thrive, and stay of the hive. It requires diligence from you. And that's why you need to act, and you need to act now. Do it. Do it now. Go online. Look at these resources. Links below. Read them. Write the letter. Contact your public services commissioners. Go to the NERC site. Do all these things. You can do it in an hour, and it might save your life. Do it in an hour, and you may keep power. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep you in power, and so that you can stay alive, thrive, and out of the hive. I'm going to do a lot more on this, and so please bear with me. Sorry for this video taking so long, but these are discrete steps that you can take to save your grid right now. And I'm going to cover a lot more. All I'm going to say now is, again, subscribe to my channel, click the links below to support my channel, but mostly go in and take action. Do these things. Do it. Do it now. Don't wait. The weekend is short. This is mainly as this weekend and Monday proposition with a follow-up. The other things, if you watch this video and it's Tuesday, Wednesday, next week, next month, you can still look at the links and go to the work with your EMA people and public services commissioners and take action. You need to take action. Take action now. I will put out a lot more on this in the upcoming future. I'm going to start beating on this because our grid is at risk nationwide. You are at risk. I'm going to cover a little bit more on that, just what it means, how much you really are at risk. I'm going to talk about EPRI, the Electric Power Research Institute, and how they're actively deceiving you and telling you things are good when they're not. I'm going to talk specifically about that. I'm going to make a special video to talk about some of this deception. So please, again, subscribe, like this video, but most importantly, also share it. Share this video wide. Everybody needs to see this so they'll take action. Even if you can't directly take action for some reason, put this on your social media and hopefully other people will pick up on it and take action. We need to get our grid secure. It's for our own lives, for our lives, for our kids' lives, and the future of this nation and world for the people in it, so that we can live prosperously, stay alive, thrive, and out of the hive. And ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for watching.